Hello, Sushma ma'am. Today I have a one very interesting question with you. A little introduction I would like to give you because since when I landed in Delhi from Calcutta, so IWPC happened a blessing for me, and I'm damn sure lots of for women journalists it's been a blessing. It's the next house for them. So can you tell me, as you are one of the founder member, how does this idea occurred in the mind of the women journalist to make a club for the only women journalist?
Thank you for this question, Madhavi. It's a very important one. I think the idea for Indian Women's Press Corps, as it is called, came when a group of women journalists, and including some of the women you have interviewed, like Kalyani Shankar, sat down and they discussed the need for a place of their own. At that time, they didn't feel very comfortable in the Press Club of India, and they said, we don't have a place where we can sit and congregate. They felt that here the press club tends to be a place where there's a lot of alcohol in the evening, and it's very noisy, and we want something more comfortable and cozy. And one thing that's very important is they wanted a place which had good toilets. Good ladies' toilets.
Yeah,
Are
that was
difficult
a
to come
that
by.
was a problem
That
in
is
early
that
India.
has been a problem, I think, in every sphere of society in this
It
country.
was.
And so this was something that was also mentioned. So they got together and they started this group. I was invited, I must say, by Kumi Kapoor, who called me up and she said, we're forming this. And we talked about business journalism earlier. As I told you, there were very few women in the profession at that time, way back in 1993 or 94 when IWPC was formed. And I was really happy to join because then I would be able to meet with other women journalists who were covering other beats, and develop friendships, which I have through IWPC. So I became one of the 18 founder members. And they then, again, you have interviewed Kalyani Shankar. Kalyani Shankar
Nirja also.
and Nirja, of course, are also founder members. But a group of them, and especially I take Kalyani's name because she was the most helpful and influential at that time, took a delegation to the then Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao and asked him for a place, a bungalow where we could put up the club. And so he very kindly agreed. And he offered to provide this bungalow. Of course, we had to pay rent. We are even now paying market rent. But we found a place. And so this...
And it's very centrally located.
Very
For the
centrally
political
located.
journalists, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Because Vijay Path is very near to it.
Yes.
And during parliament time, it's a blessing.
It's very conveniently located for all journalists. And of course, some renovation was done. It had a nice toilet, which was always kept neat and clean. And nice sofas and all were bought from some embassy auctions by Kumi Kapoor and Rashmi Saxena. I think they did a lot of work over there. So a lot of them, contributed in setting it up. So that's how it started. I think if I'm not wrong, 1993. And so the 18 founder members contributed 1,000 rupees each at that time as a corpus to set up the society. So after that, Mrinal Pandey was the first president, and she was there for 1 or 2 terms. Then we had Usha Rai, and then I became president also.
You were the 4th time president of
I have
IWPC.
been president 4 times of IWPC in 19. I'm forgetting now, 1989, 90, and 1989, 90, yes, or I think 1999, sorry, I'm forgetting, 1999, I was president, and then I was president in 2004, and then 2007, and then 2016. So I have been privileged to lead the organization. I had wonderful colleagues in the managing committee who were very helpful, and the IWPC evolved into a place where we would hold many events. We would invite political leaders, we would have press conferences, we would invite cultural icons, We would invite people in all spheres of society to hold press meetings, and then it also developed as a place. We had a small cafeteria, and people would come and eat, and women could just come and relax there. So it has been a great source of strength, as you yourself pointed out, especially to younger journalists who find it a sort of a haven where they can sit and relax.
And like-minded, and the other person, when you
Yes.
see of the same stream, you feel a little confident.
Correct.
You don't feel you are alone in the city,
Yes.
because Delhi is such a big city. I mean, homesickness and
Yes.
being left out is a
Yes.
very common feeling.
So, as I said, I was very lucky. I formed a lot of great friendships when I joined the managing committee, and then later on as president. I think 1 year I was vice president also. And, I've taken, even if I was not president, I've very much been involved in fundraising and carrying out events because, we as founder members feel more strongly probably than others that we are part of this organization, and all of them have contributed. You have Usha Rai, I've mentioned Bernal Pandey also. Kumi Kapoor has done a great deal, Rashmi Saxena, and so there are many, Kalyani.
I remember in one
So
meeting.
there are a lot of. I'm sorry, I'm not able to mention all the members. There are about 18 of them, but they have all contributed, and and that is how it has become such a great institution.
I remember in one fundraising meeting, you said that when I go and ask people for the fund for the IWPC, they feel they are obliging you personally.
Yes.
But still, you were carrying on the things.
Yes. What happens is when you do go and because we used to ask for sponsorship and for advertisements for our annual event and the concert. We had some lovely events. I remember in 2004 when I was president, we were in collaboration with the ICCR, and they helped bring this. What's this famous Runa Laila from Bangladesh, as well as this great ghazal singer from Pakistan. The name is just eluding
Abida Parveen,
No,
once I
Abida
remember.
Parveen came later when Mirza was president. That was also a wonderful function. But there was a ghazal singer from Pakistan. Her name is just eluding me. She sang that beautiful song, Abhi to Main Jawan Hoon.
No, I'm not able to recall.
Yeah. So she's a very great singer. So we had, that was one wonderful event. Then Abida Parveen, as you remember, that was a wonderful event. So we've had many great concerts, and so therefore we would go out and ask for funds. And of course, we all used our, not just me, but all of us used our personal equity to raise these funds, because obviously if I go, or if Kumi Kapoor goes, or Ritu Sareen goes, we are all using our personal equity, even though they know it's going to IWPC. But we didn't mind because it is going to our combined institution, and therefore we were quite happy to do all this. So this is an institution that has stood the test of time. And,
any special memory, any incidents would you like to share with all of us, with our audiences? I'm damn sure this video is going to inspire not only media fraternity, media students also, who may be joined, who may be the future journalists.
Well, I think way back when I was president first time, in 1999, we had a media seminar for 3 days. Actually, I have more memories, but we had a media seminar for 3 days, and that was then in memory of the late Nikhil Chakrabarti, who had then passed away. And we had such a galaxy of editors coming to address, whether it was George Verghese, and then you had all these, at that time Dilip Gaonkar was alive, Dilip Gaonkar, and you had Shekhar Gupta, and you had the then editor of Hindustan Times. So all of them came. The then principal information officer had come, Mr. S. Narendra. So we had all these people coming to address our members, as well as at that time non-members were also invited. Anybody could attend. But it was such an educative kind of seminar at that time. Then we had, again that same year, and this is something that people talked about even now to me. This is sure you must do it again. We had a seminar on the budget.
Okay,
we had a 3-day seminar on the budget to explain the budget. and we had called Mr. Nainan, T.N. Nainan, who was editor of Business Standard at that time. We had called the then Chief Economic Advisor, Mr. Shankaracharya at that time. We had called Mr. Sanjay Baru, so it was kind of a paid seminar, small payment only, but along with lunch, so that you could talk to that person could explain the budget from their point of view, and you could ask questions. Any simple, because general reporters found it very difficult to understand the budget papers.
Yes, certainly you cannot understand this.
So therefore they were able to ask questions of these people. And you can imagine after 20-25 years, people still recall that seminar to me, and they said, Sushma, that was so useful to us. Why don't you do something like that?
Yes.
So we did things like that.
Anything like, have you ever felt competitive with PCI Press Club of India, because they are our immediate neighbor?
No, not really, because actually PCI never did these kind of things. PCI is a more congenial kind of a club, but I must say that what PCI did after we came up was that they revamped their women's toilet, and they made it very nice, so that they said you don't have another organization just because you need a good toilet. We've got a wonderful ladies toilet, which is a very good thing.
Their interior is also being changed in the I think
years,
during Gautam Lahiri's
even earlier many times they revamped the ladies toilet, and they were always conscious of the fact that women complained and they had gone to IWPC. So their women's toilet is now kept in very good condition, and now they are also having some events, but earlier they used to have very few, once or twice a year they would have a
not
big
the
press
in-house
conference.
event, they more have a press
they would
conference.
probably call a big political leader or something like that, but we used to have a lot of smaller events, and so we were not really in competition with the press club, so there was a lot of what should I say, some friendly banter about it, but not really.
If you have to define in one line, what make IWPC successful, despite when nowadays there is always co-ed education, women are sharing working space with the men, but this is just the reverse one, where in just immediate to PCI we are having a special place for the women's themselves only, women journalists. And how you will define this thing?
I think there's a certain comfort level for women to be in a space where they find only women, and they can relax and perhaps let down their guard, and not feel that they have to be in any way formal or anything. Of course, men are allowed to come in IWPC
as a guest,
as you are aware, as guests, and we are happy that they come. But there are spaces in IWPC, like the library at the back, where they are not allowed because the library is a special area, and so there's a feeling, I think, of comfort. Probably we don't, as Indian women, perhaps we tend to be more formal with men, perhaps. I mean, this is just a thought
just
of the
your
cuff,
thought process.
I may or may not be right, but definitely there's a comfort level in being surrounded by women, and it has also enabled so much of networking and friendships. I talked about my friendships in IWPC. I developed friendships with so many of them, and it has been such a pleasure over the years.
Thank you, Sushma ma'am. Thank you very much. My one last question. Many of your family members are in media, and they are holding a very good position. So does this, is a competition give you feel competition, or you feel inspiration from them? Your husband, himself was a, PCI president once.
Yes, correct.
And
but fortunately, my husband is in a completely different area. He's in political journalism. I'm in economic journalism. So we're in completely different areas. My brother-in-law, who has passed away, was editor of the Week magazine for a long time. He was again in a completely different area, because he was an editor and a feature writer, opinion writer, and a production person. So he was in neither political or economic. So he was again. So we all three of us have been in completely different arenas of journalism, so no competition at all, fortunately.
And inspiration.
Inspiration yes, because my the good thing was that whenever I had work, I could have work on a Sunday, I could have work late at night. I never had a husband who would ask me, why are you going? He
Okay.
never asked me
From the
that
same
because he
industry,
knew.
because
Yeah, he never asked me, and I never asked him because I knew. I mean, if he's coming at midnight, he's coming from covering PMO and all that. So that way, we do understand the problems and the constraints of the profession.
thank you, Sushma ma'am. Thank you very much. This is Madhvi Shri for the World of Positive News from Delhi.